What's going on, everybody? You are here at another episode of the Not For Debate podcast. With me, your host, Wild Wild West. I'm here with Great One DeVore and Banks of America. What's going on, fellas?
Yo.
Hey, what's going on, Wes?
Not much, man. How y'all been? What's been going on with y'all?
Actually, Banks, if you don't mind me going first, I do have a confession to make.
That sound good.
Well, for the first time ever in my life, I've literally sat down and watched all 4 of the Rocky movies.
Oh, that ain't too
bad. Where's this going, bro? Already like, what?
Like, I just thought everybody's just sitting there like, you never seen watch the Rocky movies? Like, I literally just watched all 4 of them just sitting down. Nope, never seen it. So, like, all the little memes that they have, like, that joke just goes right over my head until today. Now I understand what these memes mean.
Well, congratulations, man. I mean, I expect nothing less from Dolphins. Never mind. Anyway, what's up, Banks?
Everything's good, man. God is good, man. It's another great night to be here with you guys morning. Get ready to, do what we like to do, man. Do what we love to do, and that's talk sports. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in and listening to the podcast. We really appreciate you guys. We get ready for the season, man. What was that, another week and a half?
Yeah, about a week and a half.
Yeah, man. It's time to hit the ground running. I hope y'all ready.
It's going to be a crazy season. I can tell you that. We got a lot of different things, man, going on.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But before we even get started, though, before I feel really bad that you're almost 37 years old. You haven't watched a single Rocky movie ever.
I'm mad you just put like 10 extra years on my life just now.
Oh, my bad.
I said 37 years old. I was like, whoa, hold up, yo. I was like, am I 37? Like, we just sit back and just be blinking. Sometimes you be like, damn, am I really that old?
Yo. Hey, man, accept it, man. 10 years from now, you'll be 37. And the Dolphins still want to have won a Super Bowl. So.
Careful, I don't think the Rams will have a ring either by that time.
We winning it this year, but I'm not going to keep repeating it. I'm just going to put plan into action, man.
Didn't you say that last year, though?
Yes, he did.
And where were we? In the Super Bowl.
Yeah, on the losing side, bro.
It happens, man. It happens. We've been there before and lost, so it's cool as long as we go.
So is Tom Brady. He's not the best quarterback.
So the first topic.
Actually, I did have an announcement to make before we actually get into the show real fast. Y'all ready?
What's up?
All right. So for the folks that have been watching or listening to the podcast on YouTube, they now have the opportunity to now listen to it on SoundCloud. All you have to do is type in Not For Debate Podcast in the SoundCloud, and with an excellent quality, privilege you have of where instead of being on YouTube, you can actually just hit the power button and listen to the podcast without having your screen on, and you can actually do other things while you listen to the podcast.
Awesome. Could you just spell it out real quick? Because there's actually another cast called Not Up For Debate. A couple of the guys in my fantasy football league were trying to, give us a listen.
Okay.
So just spell that out for him.
That is NOT space 4 FOR debate DEBATE space podcast.
Right, get it right.
Awesome.
Don't get it confused, people. It's not for debate.
All right. So again,
Always remember
one
that.
more time for the folks in the back. Just want to make this known that not only you can listen to us on YouTube, but also on SoundCloud. Excuse me. We are working on the other platforms as well.
All right. Let's get it, guys. We grinding. Hey man, I'm proud of y'all boys. I just want to tell y'all that, man. Seriously, man. While we're recording it, I just want to tell y'all thank y'all so much for helping the dream, for supporting the dream. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate you guys and everything that you do and your commitment level to this podcast, what it is. Even right now, at this moment, it's not much at this time, but the more we work at it, the better it'll be. And thank y'all, man. Appreciate y'all, boys.
Well, you know what, man? Yeah, that's cool, no, but I'm not proud. I'm actually hurt right now at Andrew Luck, who I drafted on my fantasy team. I mean, he an awesome dude. I'm happy he walked away from the game, healthy. But it just sucked my team, dude. What y'all think? Y'all think it was more than that? More than that injury or what?
You want to take over first, DeVore?
Nah, go ahead. We saved the best for last.
I'll be honest with you, man. There's always going to be more. There's going to be more in this situation, but we're just not going to get it. I feel like Andrew Luck had to his privacy, which is why I think he made this decision to retire so suddenly. I mean, if you pay attention, man, this is becoming a very common thing, though. Think about all the big names who've walked away from the game of football as of late, at pretty early ages of their career. It's starting to become a major thing. One prime example being Calvin Johnson. That shocked a lot of people. You got the Rob Gronkowski thing for me, which personally didn't shock me that much because of his injuries that were always out every week. It seemed like he had a different type of injury that he was dealing with. And then now more so with Andrew Luck. And it's just unfortunate, man. He was a really good quarterback. I know I was very critical of him at the beginning of his career because of the sacrifice that the Colts made for him. That they got rid of one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game, which is Peyton Manning.
The best, the greatest.
Opinions. Excuse me, but they got rid of Peyton Manning and brought this guy in. So obviously the Colts were invested in him and they believed in his abilities. And don't get me wrong, in college, Andrew Luck was a star. And proof was there. The proof was in the pudding, literally. Now, do I feel like the Colts got back a great deal of investment out of it? I'm going to be very honest with you. No. They got some success. They're right on the right path. But, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see Andrew Luck go after what he worked so hard to get. And what the Colts, they gave up a legend to be able to, they chose him to take over the mantle for number 18, Peyton Manning. So I wish Andrew Luck the best. If he happens to hear this podcast, you got nothing but the best of luck for myself as well as my fellow co-hosts as well. You're a very great player. We appreciate you, for what you did in the game. And here's his second life, man. There's always a life after the game. And it's if it gets to that point where the game is no longer in you, it's best to walk away because he could have further risked more not being able to come out there in the right mind. Because it's more than just physical ability. You got your mental, you got your emotional side of things. I just felt like those areas were failing for him, and on top of having to deal with those physical injuries. So, but wishing the best. Wishing the best. What's up, DeVore? How you feel?
Now, during your little power nap, me and Wes was having this discussion about the injuries, the injuries that.
I'd be tired, man.
You said what?
Yes.
I be tired, man. Look, these kids is driving me crazy, man. I gotta get up in the morning, take my kids to school. My Achilles injury, so.
Okay, so I was gonna say, yeah, we discussed all the injuries that Andrew Luck had over the course of his NFL career, and it's quite a few, man. You got the torn cartilage and 2 ribs, the partially torn abdomen, a lacerated kidney. I had a concussion,
which caused him to pee out blood. By the way, that's actually in that injury report.
I didn't want to give them that kind of description so early in the morning, but
no, listen, a player as great as Andrew Luck was, you gotta tip your hat to him for going out there, being a gladiator for that team, and actually playing through all of that. Because me, if my toenail rip off, I'm probably not going out there. All right? I got the money already. I'm good.
So let me get this straight. So we all in agreement. We respect a quarterback to go out there when they have an injury like peeing blood, correct?
Listen, you have to, man.
Oh, okay. Banks, can I get an amen to that too from you, Banks?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Okay. Ryan Tannehill was doing it too. So you respect him now?
No, I don't. He hasn't had the success.
Wait a minute. What success has Andrew Luck had? I thought the ultimate goal was to win a Super Bowl. He hasn't won a Super Bowl.
Oh my God, he's been in the playoffs though. I mean, he's been, and his team is, with him there, they win games. I.e., like I said, he carried the mantle for a little bit. He did a good job.
Okay. Well,
we're not going to listen here. We're not going to have this conversation. There's no way I'm going to even put Ryan Tannehill in the same sentence. It's just not going to happen.
You know what? Hey, when it comes down to it, one way or another, we gonna talk about Ryan Tannehill about it before the end of the show anyway. So it's all good.
Well, you might have a starting job actually, because Mariota ain't looking.
Most definitely. That was one topic that was definitely circling, because me and Banks had a conversation about this a couple months ago, and I know he's been monitoring that.
Listen, the Tennessee Titans are worse with him at the quarterback than they are with Marcus Mariota. We just gonna wait till the regular season to find out.
We will wait to find out.
To be continued. To be continued. We want to see.
Like I was saying, you got to tip your hat to Andrew Luck and respect his decision. And he's out there getting pounded, dude. I don't know if y'all ever watched his highlights. Watch him mic'd up. He gets hit and says, "Good hit, big boy. Nice hit, big guy. Oh, you crushed me. I think you broke a rib. Yes." It's not like he liked it that pain, I'm sure, but he's just out there being nice. Like, that's who he is. So I'm just happy he walked away in better health than he probably would have. Just keep going out there getting pounded. You know what I mean?
Right.
Absolutely. Injuries are not fun. Injuries are not the fun part of the sport. Injuries are a part of the sport that nobody likes. I remember a few years ago when Derrick Rose was suffering those knee injuries.
Oh my gosh!
I remember a lot of people.
Whoa!
A lot of people trying my boy. Now y'all got sympathy, but it's okay.
I'm gonna try that by the end of the show. I'm gonna just bring up somebody totally irrelevant and just see what y'all have to say. I'm gonna try it. All right?
Yeah, you should do that.
All right, cool.
Do that. I mean, Troy Polamalu had injuries though.
Damn.
To be honest, he had a lot of injuries. Think about it.
You can't compare. You cannot compare that dude's instinct to nothing.
I'm just saying his injuries though. He was injured a lot too. He just played.
I just wanted to bring up that Rashad Jones had more interceptions and tackles than Troy Polamalu within his first 5 years.
And how many more Super Bowls did he have in the next 5? Moving on. Now that Andrew Luck has retired, how do y'all think that changes the whole landscape of the AFC South? Like, who do y'all see coming out on top there?
Well, to be honest with you, even with Andrew Luck playing, I still think it's going to come down to Houston with the Texans. I just think that the Texans were a better team anyway, especially defensively.
Texans are taking hits, though. Thanks. Texans are taking hits. David Clowney probably won't be there. They just lost their starter. That O-line did not look good versus Dallas.
Right. Granted, all that's nice. But the Texans have been making noise, man. They've been knocking on that door for a while now, and eventually that door is going to open. You know what I mean? I just feel like with a good, clean bill of health, they'll be able to, they'll be able to get to that next step because they've been there for the last couple of years. It's just they've had one thing after the other pop up. You had the injuries with J.J. Watt, and you had the issues with Deshaun Watson. I mean, the list goes on. So I feel like once all those things are able to come together, they're going to be good. And that's just not look over the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Tennessee Titans. No matter, Jacksonville looks pretty, credible right now.
I'm glad you said that. I was actually going to get to that. With Nick Foles, that team looks totally different. It looks like they're in control offensively, and the defense doesn't have to be out there all day.
Right, they can rest and make plays. Yeah, DeVore, man, this is your chance to speak on Ryan Tannehill. This is the last time we're going to talk about this. This is your moment.
Well,
don't let us down.
As far as the Indianapolis Colts goes, their season is over. Even though I like Jacoby Brissett as their starting quarterback moving forward, I look at the Jacksonville Jaguars. When the Dolphins played them last week, when I saw Nick Foles play, I wasn't too impressed. They still need some weapons on the outside. They say that D.D. Westbrook is going to be a breakout star for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm not a believer yet. That offensive line, they still have issues. They need help. And Nick Foles, I'm just not a believer in Nick Foles. You was at two different teams. Not the Houston Texans.
Wait. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Wait. You not believe in Nick Foles, who performed in the Super Bowl? No. But you believe in Ryan?
No. I don't believe in Nick Foles because of the sole fact of the offensive line for the Jacksonville Jaguars is not the same offensive line in Philadelphia. It's not the same offensive line in Philadelphia. Pro Football Focus ranked the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line as the best offensive line in football. You going from that to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And still Nick Foles is not credible still because he went to two other teams and he was not successful with those two other teams, which you had a front row seat of watching with the Rams. What do you do with the Rams, Banks?
He was okay.
He was okay?
He didn't do that bad.
First off, I know you didn't say Pro Football Focus because they never get anything right.
Oh, they get some things
Ross
right.
Cochran was one of the top DBs.
They said who?
Ross Cochran.
That's your guy, right? No, he with the...
No.
He with the...
not the Steelers. No, we don't keep sorry DBs.
Buffalo Bills.
No, he's with the... don't tell me. I got it. I just played this team. He's with the Buccaneers, correct?
Nope, he was with the Giants, and he tore something up. He's gone for the year.
Oh, with the Giants. Excuse me.
Well, speaking of injuries.
Anyway, I'm just saying, you can't go off Pro Football Focus.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Who has the best offensive line in football?
The Eagles.
Okay, supposedly. So I guess we go Pro Football Focus for that, huh?
I said supposedly, but you know who actually has the best football O-line in football?
Who?
The New England Patriots.
No, they don't. Let's move on.
They always do.
No.
I'm about to say the Saints is up there too. I think the Saints got a pretty. I mean, I think they had like 7 or 8 games in a row where they didn't give up a sack, which was crazy. That was crazy.
So you guys are literally gonna come on here and tell me that Nick Foles is gonna have success with the Jacksonville Jaguars with that terrible offensive line?
I'm just saying, I agree with Wes in this situation. From what I've seen from Nick Foles, he's made some pretty good throws and he made some not pretty good throws. Nick Foles, on my scale of quarterbacks, he's not upper echelon, but he's serviceable. He can play the position. He's better than Ryan Tannehill.
Top 16 or bottom 16?
Bottom 16. He's definitely 16. But
where's Tannehill? Top 10 or bottom 10?
Tannehill's top, bottom 100.
Okay, getting back to my point now. I just don't believe in the Jaguars, which now that leaves the Houston Texans. Houston Texans don't have an offensive line, and every time they end up making that push for the playoffs, Deshaun Watson ends up throwing a crucial interception. So that leaves the Tennessee Titans, which is the most complete team in that division right now. Now, with Marcus Mariota having Ryan Tannehill creep in his window right now for that starting job. Manx, if I'm not mistaken, I could have sworn I said that Ryan Tannehill had that job by week 5, but I think he's going to have it by week 3. Knock on wood for Marcus Mariota, but I just don't see him making it that long.
And again, I should say this to you. If the Tennessee Titans start Ryan Tannehill, go ahead and start picking out your jersey for next year's draft.
It's all good. Hey, it's all good. I'll be more than glad to come up on this show again to prove you wrong, like I always do. And let's not forget Jordan Howard now. Let's not forget Jordan Howard.
What are you talking about?
Jesus.
Hey, since we talk about fantasy, hey Wes, did you draft Jordan Howard?
You crazy? But I did draft Andrew.
You know what? They should allow you to pick whatever player in the league now. When a player just retires on you like that in the fantasy, you should be able to just pick any player you want, even if they're on another person's team. Just grab them. I feel sorry for you, man.
No, it ain't that bad. Luck is a good dude. I'm happy for him. To all my guys in my fantasy league, man, you know what, man? Just keep y'all head up, because you can't predict this stuff. Y'all seen what happened last year to my team. Just totally got dismantled because of Kareem Hunt. And now this year, he's beginning the cycle.
You know why this happened? Because you ain't invite me to the league. That's why this happened.
You're absolutely right.
Yep. See what happens?
Hopefully I invite you and this stuff just start happening to you, because you're gonna pick Tannehill.
Nah, it's all good. I was willing to give. Y'all just didn't want to give me your money. All right.
Oh God.
You know what though? We're gonna start our own league anyway, man.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Oh, okay. Banks talked about this is why he don't play. So I didn't think he was gonna try to participate. So I just thought that you was gonna try to put me in another league.
Am I the same person I was in fantasy sports? No, but I would participate if my guys did it. Yeah, man, y'all my boys. I would be in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
why not do it, man?
It's gonna be the easiest money I've ever won. The easiest money I've ever won.
First off, you drafted Jordan Howard.
Yep.
And Ryan Tannehill.
I didn't say I would draft Ryan Tannehill. Shoot.
I guarantee
I might just draft Derek Carr.
Well, wait a second.
At least 3 Dolphins.
So who are we picking to win the AFC South though? Like who's your pick?
Okay, my pick is the Jacksonville Jaguars, because
DeVore.
I want to hear this explanation. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Last year, y'all didn't see the real Jags. Their O-line was banged up. They could not run the ball. We know Blake Bortles couldn't throw the ball. That defense stayed on the field the whole time. I feel like it's going to change this year. I feel like Fournette's coming back strong.
I don't see an improvement in the offensive line, so I'm guessing we just going to see Nick Foles counting lights 2019, huh?
Well, we'll see, man. Maybe he makes better decisions than Bortles and knows how to get the ball out faster or check it down. I'm just saying, bro.
Okay.
Hey, what do you say? Who do you think is going to win? Did you say the Titans are going to win with Ryan Tannehill?
They're the most complete team. They're the most complete team.
Yeah, but that's not your pick, though. Wait, that's not the question. The question is who's the most complete team right now? Who do you got?
I have the Tennessee Titans as my pick to win the AFC North with Ryan Tannehill.
AFC South.
Excuse me, the AFC South with Ryan Tannehill as their starting quarterback. Fact.
Hey,
Matter of fact, not a fact. Guarantee. Guarantee.
Whoa.
You got a lollipop on you?
Nah.
Did you pass to the sucker over there?
Talk about something.
That's lollipop. Anybody?
Well, I mean,
I'm gonna go with
if the Texans were, if they were healthy with Lamar Miller, I would give the Texans a shot.
And they got the best quarterback and the best receiver in that division right now with Andrew Luck retiring.
Oh, great!
And the worst offensive line. It's a toss up. It's between the Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. No.
I'm running with my boy Deshaun Watson. Because you want to know why? Deshaun Watson proved to me about 3.5 years ago, almost 4 years ago, the kind of player that went up against Alabama and single-handedly beat Alabama by himself. So ever since then, I've been a big fan of him. I'm going to support him and continue to support him. I want him to get to the next level because this guy has a lot of talent.
You want to know something, Banks?
Really, really good quarterback.
You want to know something, Banks? I was a huge fan of Reggie Bush when he was playing at USC, but he was not what he was at USC, what he was with the New Orleans Saints and the Miami Dolphins or with the Detroit Lions.
I know that's right. I never seen nothing like that dude in college.
Well, that's
I can't hear you. You're mumbling over there. What'd you say?
Washington is playing. He's healthy.
Look,
period.
When it comes down to that, it's the offensive line, man. Like
when
he's
Deshaun
not.
Washington is playing.
When Deshaun Watson is playing, what? Wes, did you hear what he said?
Yes. Nah, his audio's going out.
No.
Yeah, you just gotta go with that when you said it. Wes? I mean, excuse me. Yeah, Wes?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm still here.
Oh, so I can hear you. I guess we might have lost Banks.
No, he's back. He's back.
Oh, he's back? Let's give Banks a second. But
Banks, you here?
I just wanted to say that I just don't trust the Jags and I just don't trust the Texans.
I know one thing. You ain't got to trust the Jags. We know the Jags still basically have that same nasty defense that they had 2 years ago. I feel like they will be on the field less. You'll see more 3 and outs from that defense, and Fournette and Foles will, be able to sustain drives like Bortles couldn't. For some reason,
Fournette's a question mark too because he's had some injury issues too.
I don't think you realize they had like 2 or 3 linemen starters that were banged up last year. So he didn't have, a starting quality line to work with either.
Hey, they regardless, none of them line are worth a bag of stale chips. And that's the same for the Houston Texans. So I'm sorry, I just don't see Nick Foles having success with the Jacksonville Jaguars with that offensive line looking like that. He was sitting back looking pretty in Philly with that offensive line. So maybe if they decide to run the ball 22 times to Leonard Fournette and then that's how they'll win games. But if you putting the ball in Nick Foles' hands, I just don't see them winning the division.
Dude, that's how you win championships. That's how you win games. You run the ball and play defense. All that passing, 50 attempts, 1,000 yards passed in one game, that's just for show. That brings the fans there. But to win the game...
Okay, so let me ask you this. Who's better, Leonard Fournette or Derrick Henry?
I'm going with Fournette.
I think it's close. I really think it's close.
I don't even think Derrick Henry, in my opinion, if you get to him in the backfield before he actually gets moving, he's done. Fournette, you're going to have to fight a little more. Fournette got a little more wiggle to him, a little more juice to him. That's just my opinion from what I see. If I'm starting a franchise and you give me one of those two guys to pick, I'm picking Fournette. So you taking Derrick Henry?
Yeah, I would. I don't even think Leonard Fournette was in the top 100 this year.
He wasn't, man. He didn't have a good season. But I'm a firm believer in his bounce back. I like his bounce back season this year over Derrick Henry continuing where he left off last year. Derrick Henry got 1,000 yards, but he did it like in the last 2 or 3 games of the season.
Yeah, and like you said, for the Jacksonville Jaguars, their offensive line did have some injuries too. I remember against the Dolphins, that was the first game of the season. They ended up having like 2 or 3 injuries along the offensive line.
Yeah. Is this guy coming back, or we still going, or what?
I don't know. He might have fell asleep.
Anyway, since we're still going, moving forward. Speaking of injuries, let's talk about Lamar Miller. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. You hate to see a back like him go down. One of the dudes, man, wasn't, breakout superstar David Johnson, Ty Gurley, but he was consistent. He's been consistent for a while. In my opinion, underused. Like, I feel like they just never gave him a shot. But, yeah, man, keep him in your prayers. Hope he make a full recovery, a speedy recovery, get back to doing what he loved doing. I actually played with the guy in Pop Warner, man. Animal. Always been an animal. And it sucks, man. Any thoughts on that, DeVore?
When I look at Lamar Miller, when he was with Miami, one of the things that I tend to realize, well, with Miami and with Houston, is the fact that he hasn't had a offensive line to run behind, but he was still able to produce somewhat decent numbers. Now, when you look at his numbers, he only rushed for 1,000 yards twice, 2016 and 2014. But I would be hard on that. But since I know what Lamar Miller had to endure over the past of his course of his career, I'm willing to let that slide. It was pretty close in 2018 with 973, averaging 4.6 yards a carry. But when you look at the Houston Texans, as far as moving forward,
you think it's time for them to move on from him?
Well, how old is he? 28?
About 27, 28.
He's 28. April 25th, 1991. Yeah, so he's 28, so I probably, what's the contract looking like? Probably got like 2 years left on his contract. I could have sworn he just signed a new contract extension.
Yeah, I believe it was 2 years left. You think it's time for them to start searching for that the next back, possibly a workhorse, or just another piece? Well, what do you think?
Well, when you look at the Houston Texans, like we discussed before we went live, we were talking about Duke Johnson. Duke Johnson hasn't exactly gotten an opportunity to, be that every down back. Honestly, I don't think he can. 2020, so he has 1 more year left on his contract. So 2020 is his last year. Yeah, Duke Johnson hasn't exactly had, I wouldn't say bell cow role, because I don't even think Duke Johnson could be a bell cow. I think you most definitely would have to into getting a premier back in the draft, or possibly get via trade this year. Who off the top of my head, obviously Melvin Gordon's up there, Ezekiel Elliott's up there. You said something about LaShawn McCoy off air, Adrian Peterson.
Yeah. Melvin Gordon trade is a possibility now. That might be in play.
Why is Adrian Peterson in the discussion though? He's still a Washington Redskins.
Because the Texans need a running back, and I'm pretty sure if they made a decent offer to the Redskins would probably give up AP.
Yeah, I just want to know because I think that's what's going to happen anyway. That's why I'm asking the question. I think either the Redskins are going to trade Adrian Peterson or get rid of him simply because they're getting younger at that position. You got some really talented running backs in that spot.
Yeah, I mean they do have a lot of stable. But what are your thoughts on Lamar Miller and his injury?
I mean, what else is new in that case? Not to be funny. No,
this is the first really serious injury. Other than that, Lamar Miller has been consistent with his production. Not saying it was awesome production, but he's been, consistent with what he's giving you. And he's been top 16 backs for as long as he's been, as long as they gave him the rock. In my opinion, anyway. Yes.
I'm agree with Wes on this one, Banks. I'm sorry, dog. You just being a little bit too critical on my Miami Dolphins running backs. I think it's just because of the fact that he was an ex-Miami Dolphin. You just being hella biased right now against Lamar Miller. Just saying. Because I heard y'all talking off air about Lamar Miller. I was like, man, Banks, you just a hater sometimes, man. When it comes down to anybody that has touched the Miami Dolphins soil.
I mean, don't get him wrong. I hate the Dolphins just as much as he does, but I'm not biased.
You're not biased. Oh, okay. That I would make sure I keep that. I'm gonna keep that in mind when we end up having a Miami Dolphins topic again.
I don't have a problem with Lamar Miller, man. I don't. I think Lamar Miller's a good running back.
Top 16 and bottom 16.
But
no.
Name me your top 10 running backs right now. I already know your top 5. So give me your 10. 5, 6 through 10.
I can't think. Right.
I shoot 6 to 10.
Yeah, the list. I just don't think Lamar Miller's up there though.
You a hater,
dude.
I mean, I'm looking at his numbers, bro. Like, he only had two 1,000-yard rushing seasons. He's never scored.
But that's not his fault though. Like I told Wes earlier, it's that offensive line. If he has a stable offensive line, he'd be fine. Like we just had this discussion about the Houston Texans offensive line. They can't protect Deshaun Watson. And right. Yeah, so don't get me started with the Miami Dolphins offensive line. They could protect the quarterback, have been able to protect the quarterback since before the Bullygate scandal. So when you look at Lamar Miller, I just feel like Lamar Miller's just put in some pretty bad situations. If he just gets an offensive line, the same thing with Ryan Tannehill. That's why he's throwing dots. And he in Tennessee, he'd be good.
We'll see. I mean, so we won't be seeing much of him this year, but it's Duke Johnson's team.
Lamar, if you listen to this,
Johnson and Lamar?
If you listen to this, Lamar, you my dog. I always believe in you. He'll get ready to keep going. Forget what Banks saying. He's just a hater.
Yes, I would like to put a message out there too.
I feel like the better running back is get ready to play. And that's Duke Johnson.
Oh my gosh,
that's my opinion.
Lamar Miller. Wow. If this podcast happens to touch your ears, back when you was in Miami, when we had to go through this contract situation, I wanted you to be our running back. I didn't want Jay Ajayi as my running back.
That's real talk.
I know Jay Ajayi had a little bit more success than Lamar Miller.
Speaking of Jay Ajayi, that's actually one of the candidates to come in and replace him. That's a rumor circulating around right now. What do y'all think about that? Jay Ajayi fitting in with the Texans.
Great pickup.
So you like Jay Ajayi over Lamar Miller?
Yeah. I like Duke Johnson over Lamar Miller.
What? Wes, talk to your man, dog. Talk to your man.
He's obviously sleepy right now. I mean, he obviously didn't get enough sleep.
That is a foolishness. Did you just say Duke Johnson is better than Lamar Miller?
Duke and Lamar are kind of in the same mold if you really look at it, but Duke is just more of a receiver. I believe he'll crush you more in the receiving game than Lamar will.
I can agree with you on that.
He's a playmaker.
I knew Lamar wasn't exactly good at catching the football, but okay. In the passing game, yeah, I'll give you Duke Johnson. But as far as running the football, I'm giving it to Lamar.
Right. I mean, Duke Johnson was a beast too, man. I just feel like he never get opportunities. Speaking of beast, yo.
Where was he a beast at though? Like, what team was this? Like, I'm trying to decide, man. What team was he a beast at?
Don't start, because I see where you going with this already.
I'm just saying, man. What are y'all talking about?
First, it would have lost if that man would not got hurt.
I want to see 2 1,000-yard rushes this season. That's all I see.
All right.
I see 5 touchdowns.
Oh, you seeing his numbers, dude? Numbers don't really tell a story how good the dude is. They just don't. They don't always tell a story.
You're right. But when you comparing players, I mean, what else do you go by? The eye test as well as the numbers.
Hey, you said Duke was better than Lamar. Is Duke numbers better than Lamar?
Duke is.
Yeah, 40 carries for 201 yards. He's not even in the same universe as Lamar Miller.
And you know why? They didn't give Duke a chance. They didn't give him a shot.
They didn't give Duke Johnson a chance in Cleveland.
They didn't give him a shot in Cleveland.
They didn't give Lamar a shot either.
Shoot.
He didn't have a shot.
Yeah, Isaiah Crowell, Nick Chubb. Come on, man.
Okay, before Nick Chubb even got there, he just got drafted this year, correct? So the year before that was Isaiah Crowell. So Duke Johnson never had a shot with the Browns in 2017 or 16?
Not that all to himself, he never had a shot.
Last time I checked, training camp comes down to competition. So with that being said, Duke Johnson had the opportunity to win the running back job, and he just never got it done.
Well, we didn't go to the camps. We don't know that.
Yeah, you don't know that.
They could have just not liked the dude.
Oh, they just could not have liked the dude. When has that ever been the case?
Yeah, that sounds Cleveland. That sounds like Cleveland to me.
Man, I don't know if you watched Hard Knocks with Cleveland, but I don't think they liked it. Corey Coleman, dog.
Speaking of him, where is he at now anyway?
He's with the Dolphins. No, he's with the Giants. Excuse me.
Corey Coleman had a promising career first. Wonder what happened.
Yeah. Anyway, like I said, Lamar, man, hopefully he'll heal up. Better doing what he loved doing, playing football. Moving on, let's talk about some more running backs. 2 in particular, Ezekiel Elliott, Melvin Gordon. Both guys are holding out right now, trying to get more money. Who do you think gets paid first here? Do you think Zeke? Well, Zeke has already been offered a contract, actually. They're trying to make him the second highest paid, I believe. Between 14 and 13 million. And Melvin Gordon, I don't think they've come to terms on nothing yet with him. I can see Melvin getting traded, actually. Thoughts, guys?
I'm gonna break this down like I broke it down with my girl the other day, especially for them Dallas Cowboys fans out there that think Zeke should take a pay cut, which kind of makes me sick to hear you guys say that. But I break it down like you do your bills, right? So you got your mortgage. I would probably say for the Dallas Cowboys, your mortgage is probably Ezekiel Elliott. That's your key to winning the Super Bowl. If you don't have a roof over your head, what do you have at home? And then, of course, Dak Prescott, I'd probably say he would probably be the car note. You could refinance it, whatever you want to be. And then you have Amari Cooper, we'll make him the electric bill. So to answer you,
hey, great metaphors, bro.
So to be quite honest with you, the way I just broke that down for you, Ezekiel Elliott, he is the heart for the Dallas Cowboys right now. And you look at Melvin Gordon in Los Angeles with the Chargers, they have had some success with the backup running back Eckler. And of course, Phillip Rivers is still there. Phillip Rivers, he gets it done regardless who's in the backfield. So, like I said, to be honest with you, I think Ezekiel Elliott will most definitely be paid first. May not be by the Dallas Cowboys. He may end up being traded. We don't know. Jerry Jones has he's kind of been having mixed feelings about Ezekiel Elliott based off of his responses in the media as of late, but most definitely, I think Ezekiel Elliott is the most valuable player, and I just wanted to put a cherry on top for this. He was a top 100 player. I believe he was in the top 15, if I'm not mistaken. Dak was nowhere near there. I just wanted to point that out. Like, how you have a player, well, Zeke Elliott in the top 15, and Dak is nowhere to be found. So, to be honest with you, it's quite obvious who deserves to be paid in Dallas.
No, without a doubt, he deserves to be paid. But do you remember before Zeke and what he did and how easily he got replaced?
Right.
Who are we talking about? Are we talking about DeMarco Murray?
Yes, we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've seen the new back they got, Tony Pollard.
Oh my gosh!
But he looks like he would do way more damage than Zeke.
Here's the thing.
I don't know about that.
Here's the thing.
No, listen. This guy was a receiver, kick return guy, running back. He was all that in college. I think if you put him in that Dallas offense, you get more of a passing back, more of a dual threat. Zeke did have close to 70 receptions or something like that, I think. But I just I feel like Tony Pollard is more.
You
more
feel
polished.
like?
Hey, that's how I feel, bro.
That's okay. I'm just that's okay. You feel like if they had to move on from Ezekiel Elliott, he could be the guy they could put in there to make the ship continue.
Yeah, possibly do more damage. Possibly.
Let me say this. I respect your opinion, but your opinion and my opinion is wrong. Ezekiel Elliott is not replaceable in no spectrum on the spectrum of any spectrum. He cannot be replaced. And that's not to say that your guy that you paid a good player, make it work. I think Dallas needs to figure it out. Because you cannot just replace an Ezekiel Elliott. It's not that simple. And I think people.
I agree with you.
I think
you can't
people
just replace him.
I think we need to stop NFL owners, especially GMs, and I know they got enough analytical, statistical data to defend them and say that the running back position is a dying position and that it's not, one of great longevity and da-da-da. But the fact of the matter is this. If you can run the ball, you can win the game. If you're not able to run the ball,
that guy has shown he can run the ball. I'm just speaking in terms of optimism here. Right. I see all
he's not a one play. He's not a one play touchdown though. Ezekiel Elliott is a one play touchdown.
He really
every time you
is.
put the ball in his hand.
I'm saying, would you really want to take that chance, Wes? Because honestly, Ezekiel Elliott is a transcendent player. Regardless, you have to pay him.
He's a generational star, bro.
To me, it's not worth it to let him go. But if you're in an organization, say like the Steelers or the Patriots, what do you think they're doing? Think about it.
That's different. This is a totally different situation.
I they're going to find
you have Dak Prescott as your quarterback. Zeke Elliott, you want to try to accommodate him as much as possible because you know what makes you win games. You built the offense for Ezekiel Elliott. Like, why are we not making that the top priority before you paying Jalen Smith? And before you sit back and snicker and saying Ezekiel Elliott, who, when your boy Pollard has a good game.
All I'm saying is, y'all right, Zeke is not replaceable. But if they had to go ahead and go forward without Zeke, I don't think they'd be that much worse off. I think that dude Pollard would actually produce for them.
Okay. But I can tell you right now, Pollard is going to be a practice squad guy.
I say he'll probably be a second stringer. I like him better than Alfred Morris, but
yeah, but you're gonna go with the experience in that case. The only way Pollard is touching that field is Ezekiel Elliott is not on the team.
Okay, if Tony Pollard scores a touchdown, week one. If he scores a touchdown week one, I mean, would y'all be convinced then or what?
No. I would expect any running back to score a touchdown week one. I want to see what he does towards the end of the season. And to be quite honest with y'all, I will be watching the Dallas Cowboys this year. But I will say this: the Dallas Cowboys will not go to the playoffs if that dude Pollard's going to be their starting running back. I guarantee you that.
Right.
Okay, well, let's make it a guarantee. If Zeke for some reason doesn't play and the Cowboys don't go to the playoffs, I'll say, you know what?
Right. I don't think that's happening either. I don't think they're going to the playoffs.
And you know what? I will say one more thing. With this Lamar Miller situation, him tearing his ACL, that should give Melvin Gordon and Ezekiel Elliott even more reason to want to hold out because of the fact that there's some similarities here. Excuse me, similarities. Lamar Miller still has one more year left on his contract. Zeke Elliott, why would you want to take that chance and possibly? But I would say in your career, if you was to tear your ACL or have any major injury, because they have once they turn 30, that's it. Running backs are done. They're the most expendable position in football right now. So I would just go ahead and just hold out.
Hold on. Time out. Let me stop you right there. Running backs are not. You know who is now? What? You know who's the new kickers?
No, hell no. Adam Vinatieri, how old is Adam Vinatieri right now? Like 45? He's still kicking. You have Robbie Gould, who's 43. He's still kicking. Who?
You talking about the greats right now. You talking about the consistent guys. I'm talking about the dudes who, if you miss one field goal, they bringing the kicker in next week.
Oh, well,
that's how it is.
I'm sorry, but I ain't had bums like Sean Sweezen coming to the Miami Dolphins organization. We've had some stud kickers over the years. Aside from Caleb Sturgis, the Miami Dolphins have been pretty stable at the kicker position. It's the Dallas Cowboys' dumb faults for getting rid of Dan Bailey, one of the best dome kickers in football. And I said dome kickers because he was not good kicking outside. Stouffer for the Baltimore Ravens. He's still kicking for them.
No. That's Tucker. Justin Tucker.
Tucker. Excuse me. Tucker. Justin Tucker. Yeah, he's still kicking for them. What other runner?
You talking about the consistent guys that don't miss? What my point
everybody misses.
Them guys don't have. Them guys consistent. I don't think Justin Tucker probably missed one out of like 70, dude. Well, my point is, kickers are so replaceable now. Like, they'll bring in some soccer dude from Spain to come in and try to kick if you miss. Like, look at the Bears situation.
I think. Well, wait a minute. And I thought it was proven that Cody Parkey's kick was tipped. I could have sworn it was proven. And you know what? Cody Parkey happens to be one of my favorite kickers because he has not built us out not one time but 2 times out of 2 games. It was against the Cleveland Browns in 2016, and the second time was when he was our kicker in 2017. I believe he was like 24, 28 or something like that for the Miami Dolphins, and then again against the Chicago Bears. Shoots 3 times. And he ended up missing a field goal for the Chicago Bears. So
they said it was blood. You're right.
Okay, then. So Cody Parkey is not that bad of a kicker. I'm just
right. He can't be, but he also ain't got that many times to mess up, dude. They really get kickers out of there. Now,
okay.
It's so many. It's a constant battle.
I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt about that. I'll probably say it's a toss up right now. It's a toss up.
I mean, with running backs, if you got a stud like Zeke, you don't just let him walk.
I feel like some teams end up regretting it at the end of the day, because I'm thinking off the top of my head, how many times has it came down to a field goal or less for the Minnesota Vikings? I believe they brought in the old Cowboys kicker after they ended up losing that game against the Packers because they should have.
Yep. Dan Bailey is kicking for the Vikings. I believe.
Yeah, they brought him in right after that game. So I think I really think teams end up regretting more than actually being satisfied with their brand new kickers. But when it comes to running back, I feel like running back is the most expendable position in football, and it's not hard to replace that running back unless the running back is transcendent. Let's say for Adrian Peterson or like Ezekiel Elliott we talk about right now. I don't think, to be honest with you, Melvin Gordon is not a transitional player. He's good, he's close, but he's not a transitional player. Transcendent player.
Maybe not, but dude is still top tier at his position.
Okay, yeah, top tier. I'm not going to disagree with you. He is top tier, but still, transcendent. No, I just don't see it being transcendent.
Right. Anyway, moving forward, man. Have you seen anybody in this the preseason that you kind of seen and you're like, you know what, they might have something here? Any players you're looking at that are doing good or whatnot, impressing you?
Can I say that one player that is going to cost their team a divisional win? Excuse me.
Who's that?
That would be Lamar Jackson, and I really wanted Banks to be on here for this conversation because last week when Lamar Jackson had that amazing touchdown run that ended up being called back, it literally made me sick, yo. Like when I was watching that Baltimore Ravens versus what team were they playing? Was it the Chargers? No, it wasn't the Chargers. They was playing the preseason game.
Who was it? He jumped over.
Yeah, they jumped.
Yeah, I think it was the Chargers. I believe he jumped right over, got hit, and scored. Right.
Yep, that's the play right there. Like, that made me sick. Like, it was all over the internet. Like, that one play that got called back was all over the internet, and nobody looked at the facts of that play. Like, let's be honest here. It was a 3rd down and long. He scrambled and he made a couple people miss. Yes, it looks nice and everything, but one thing that we are looking forward to seeing from Lamar Jackson is for him to take the next step and throw the football inside the pocket. And to be quite honest with you, well, from what I saw from Lamar Jackson over the course of the preseason, which is we saw him, I think we only saw him on one preseason game. I'm not sure if we watched the first preseason game. I don't think it was the first preseason game, but so far I haven't seen him be able to read coverages and and make the smart throw. And it literally makes me sick. It literally makes me sick by the Baltimore Ravens fans. They have the hope so high for Lamar Jackson to be like, yo, he made the next step. I don't see it. I really don't see it. And where I'm going with this is when I looked at Dwayne Haskins against the Cincinnati Bengals, that touchdown pass was such a thing of beauty because I highlight like 3 different things during that one play. It was, number one, he was able to identify the blitz with his cadence, able to fake snap it, identify who was coming on the rush. And number 2, he was able to hang in the pocket even though the pressure was coming. And number 3, he was able to deliver an accurate throw, a 50 plus yard pass to the receiver accurately. And boom, success right there. But I just do not see Lamar Jackson able to sustain to be able to play for this. Take the Baltimore Ravens to the playoffs in 2019 with what I've seen from him so far in the preseason.
Well, to be frank, I feel like still haven't given him a chance. I feel like year one for anybody, unless it's a player like, I don't know, Saquon Barkley or somebody, year one don't really mean much. You got to show me you can do it again in year 2. And why I say Saquon Barkley is because Odell's gone. You know Saquon's getting that ball. Saquon might have 50 touches a game if they get the ball that much. But I feel like you got to give Lamar a chance to show you that he knows how to read coverages and throw the ball now.
Well, that's the thing.
If he doesn't by midway this season, then I'll agree with you. He's a bust.
I'm sorry. That's the thing. He better show us now because of the fact that it has been proven that scrambling quarterbacks, they get hurt a lot. And if the Baltimore Ravens plan on, giving Lamar Jackson some run design plays, he's going to get hurt. He's a skinny quarterback that can't throw the football. He's not even accurate. Like that's another problem. He's not accurate. And it's not like he's throwing like a 20-yard pass. It's like it's short routes. They're short routes that he should be able to make, and he just can't make those throws. So I'm sorry. I'm just not sold on him. Like I can't do it. I just can't do it. That's why I have y'all, the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Cincinnati Bengals, win that division. I just don't see the Baltimore Ravens.
I can't believe you still high on the Bengals, bro. I think the Bengals are in the last place right now, even though nothing started yet. I see them trying to run the ball with Joe Mixon and maybe force a few to Tyler Eifert coming back off his broke leg. AJ's gone for 8 weeks, bro. I don't see much production in their offense. And on their defense, like, what is it? They don't got guys like Vontaze Burfict no more. They got freaking. Do they still have Dunlap and
Yep, Dunlap is still there. Carl Lawson, he's an up and comer.
Come on,
William Jackson is going to be a top 5 corner this year. Jesse Bates, he was a good rookie safety last year. Geno Atkins is still one of the best defensive tackles in football. So you
bring up names, but if you look at that same group of guys last year, they didn't do much. Cincy didn't do much on defense, dude. There was a doormat.
That may be true, but when it comes down to over the years, with Andy Dalton under center, hasn't he kept the Cincinnati Bengals pretty competitive until they get to the playoffs?
Ooh. Andy Dalton I'll agree with you there. He's not been their Achilles exactly, but he hasn't really he hasn't wowed me. It was never a moment where I was like, yes, man, Andy Dalton is that dude. He is a top quarterback in this league now. That never came.
That's not something you should be looking for. Like, We used to back and talk about Dak Prescott. Would you take Dak Prescott over Andy Dalton?
Yes, I
Oh
would.
my gosh. Oh my God. I already know.
In
I
a
already know what
heartbeat.
Banks would say. So I don't even know why I would even say ask Banks. But absolutely not. I think Andy Dalton's a way better passer than Dak Prescott, and I'll probably put him in the top. I'll put him in the top 16. He probably being him number 16.
Maybe true. Nick Foles he's not a better passer than Andy Dalton, but I have seen Andy Dalton cost the Bengals more games than I've seen Nick Foles cost the Eagles, and Dak Prescott cost the Cowboys more games. I've seen Andy Dalton fold.
Well,
and I don't think Dak fold like that under pressure, honestly.
We'll see this year.
Like he's not. We will, man. We will.
AFC North. I got to watch those games now because since you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I'm trying to gloat on you anytime I can now. So I'm most definitely going to have to be watching these Pittsburgh Steelers, especially without Antonio Brown. And when Banks is on here again, we're going to have to make a wager on one of these divisions. I prefer the AFC South because the Titans, they come in.
That's easy, man. The Jags are taking that one. You should have picked the NFC West and you went with your 49ers.
Banks ain't ready for that.
That's probably your best bet, honestly, bro. Because the 49ers kind of impressed me a little bit offensively.
I have more faith in the Titans than any other team that I picked as wild cards to win the division.
Yeah, man. But one player I got that I'm impressed with. Well, since you're unimpressed with Lamar, I'm gonna tell you I'm impressed with Devin Bush of the Pittsburgh Steelers. That guy kind of reminds me of I don't know, he's short like Zach Thomas, but he gets there like Patrick Willis or somebody. He get there quick. I was watching the preseason game today, man, and before the quarterback could really hand the ball off, he's already in the backfield, sticking his nose in there.
Right.
He's really impressed me. I think they hit with this one. I mean, it ain't no replacing what Shazier did, let alone imagine Ryan Shazier playing in his prime with this guy. He stepped up. I think he's going to step into that role that Shazier was in and fill it really well. So that's what I got. And I'm not biased. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Steelers fan. This dude looks good.
I see what you're saying. Now, I was going to say, when you look at defensive players nowadays compared to back then, like they're able to run 4.340s now, and hit harder now. So before we could touch on Devin Bush real fast, before we just go back to Lamar Jackson real fast, since you decided to bring up Devin Bush. Now, Lamar Jackson could be as mobile as he wants to be, but when it comes down to it, players are faster and stronger. They're gonna be able to catch him. So going back to your boy Devin Bush, do you think he's a leader? Let me ask you that. Is he a leader?
Yeah, I think so. Because all of his teammates are raving about him, really. And not just, like some 6th-round rookie, undrafted guy. Like Cam Hayward's talking about this guy. TJ Watt, even Bud Dupree had positive words to say when it came to him. And I mean, for vets to step in and vouch for you like that, you got to be doing something right.
Right.
You're right. The league has changed where you got big dudes running 4.3s and 4.4s, and it's gonna take one hit for Lamar to feel like Andrew Luck. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he definitely gonna have to evolve. But when it comes to Bush, man, he just built different, and he got a different set of instincts, which is why I think they traded up to pick him. They traded up like 10 or 11 spots or something like that to pick him. And I think it's well worth it, and it's going to pan out.
That's good. I hope so, considering the fact that y'all had to trade up 10 picks. Yeah, most definitely. But
the last defender they did that with, I think, was Palomalu. And, I mean, he turned out all right.
I can agree with you on that. I can most definitely agree with you on that. But I was going to say...
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought. Go ahead, Wes.
Yeah, the league is changing. The guys are getting bigger and faster because it's turning into a passing league, and you need guys like Devin Bush and Devin White and Deion Jones, like the kind of smaller, faster, but still bringing that thump. You know what I'm saying? You need those guys.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And it's weird. It's weird. It's almost like drafting many linebackers that are like hybrid safeties that can cover, and that's just a result of how the league is changing and turning to a passing league where you're throwing to the running back a lot more. Your tight ends are bigger, more athletic, faster, taller, can jump higher. So, you know, I think they hit with Devin Bush, man. I'm super duper impressed with him. Might even get me a jersey.
Oh, baby. All right. So with that being said, before we close it out, I just wanted to remind everyone again that not only are we on YouTube, we are now on SoundCloud. Search under the name Not For Debate Podcast on SoundCloud to pop right up. But outside of that, Wes, did you have anything else you'd like to add before we close it out?
Once again, thanks for listening, fellas. And Andrew Luck, thank you for your service. I appreciate everything you did for me. And I look forward to Tony Pollard taking over the league.
All right, that was a mouthful. I was gonna go ahead. I was gonna speak for Banks, but it seemed like Banks decides he wants to come back at the end of the podcast.
Listen, I just want to say I'm sorry I've been having technical difficulties this evening, everyone, this morning. But thank you guys for listening to the Not For Debate podcast. I really, really appreciate everybody who made it to the end. You got to hear us out again and voice our opinions. Again, Andrew Luck, congrats, man. You're on the next part of your life now. And that's what it's about, man. It's more, life is more than football. You know, so he gets to ride off in the sunset now and do what he gets to do.
Definitely.
He's a really rich guy, so wish him the best.
And he'll love Lamar Miller. And that is all.
All right, with that being said, this is the Not For Debate, and we are out.